Mitchell and Ness just released more jerseys in their Power Play series, and I just have to talk about them because some of these jerseys are exactly what I wanted Mitchell and Ness to do when they first revealed the Blue Line series, which has now turned into this Power Play series. So I'm really excited about these jerseys in some sort of way, and in other ways, not really so much. So before I do go ahead and actually talk about the jerseys, if you guys are new to the channel and you like hockey jersey content, please make sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Okay, let's get into it. This isn't my first video that I've done on the Power Play series. I did do a video about a year ago, so I'll leave a link in the cards up above, but pretty much a too long didn't watch. It is a massive improvement on that Blue Line series. That Blue Line series was just awful. The Power Play one, it is a little bit better. It's not terrible, but it does still have a lot of issues. My main problem with those jerseys is they just had so many errors, whether the colors were off, the number placements were too high, the striping was wrong. Like, some of the jerseys did actually have it correct and looked pretty good, but for the most part, a lot of them had some sort of issue and just were not accurate to how they actually should look. So that is why I had a hard time recommending those jerseys. Now that being said, since releasing that video, I have seen a lot of people get their Power Play jerseys and say that they like them. They say that the quality is good. I haven't seen one in person myself. I haven't bought a Power Play jersey. I'm not sure if I really plan on getting one at this point, at least not the ones that I've seen so far or reviewed so far. Definitely not any of those. It is nice to hear that the quality on these jerseys are good. However, I still feel like my issues with all of the errors that they have and the colors being off and such is pretty valid. So, that all being said, have they fixed these issues with the new Power Play jerseys that they have released? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our first jersey. That is the Wild Wing jersey. I have to say, I am so happy that they're doing a throwback to this jersey. This is exactly what I wanted when I first saw the Blue Line series, is I wanted them to lean into these super hard to find, super rare jerseys. And it's kind of been my issue with a lot of like the vintage lines, whether it's the Adidas Team Classic, the CCM Vintage, the Fanatics Vintage, and now this line, to be honest, the Power Play / Blue Line series, is that a lot of the time they do play it kind of safe with the vintage jerseys that they bring back. And I mean, like, I understand that obviously you have to make money with these vintage lines, but like 90% of the time feels like it's just the same jersey over and over again. It's going to be the Nordiques jerseys. It's going to be like an old Oilers jersey. It's going to be, you know, a Hartford Whalers jersey. You know, those are your safe bets that they pretty much always put in those vintage lines. And to me, at least, it feels like they never really go out there and get those really hard to find rare jerseys that are kind of a little bit ugly. And like I said, I understand that because you want to make money with these jerseys, but like this one right here, they have never done a throwback to this jersey. And if you've wanted this thing, you either had to A, get the reverse retro 1.0 jersey, which is not quite the same, and now that jersey is very difficult to find, or there was also like an Adidas practice jersey that once again was not very easy to get either. So it's not like you've really had a good option to get this jersey right here. And now there is, and that's awesome. That's really, really cool. That being said, is it a good version of this jersey? Not really, kind of. Sadly, they did not fix the colors being off. They're just not quite right again. The purple, a little bit too light. I mean, you can even see it just, you know, with me wearing it right here. Obviously, the lighting is quite different. This is with a lot of lights, and this is with a very dim light. So I understand the lighting being different, but still, the colors with that purple, it's way too light, and even the teal is way too light. So, like, it's not quite there. It does look a little bit off, unfortunately, especially the purple. I think the teal honestly doesn't look terrible being that light, but the purple does look pretty bad. I think that eggplant purple, yeah, it needs to be darker. But in terms of the logo, obviously that is sublimated on this jersey. It's sublimated on the original, so that's fine. No big deal there. With the shoulder patch is actually a little bit different. So like the back side of the mask, like the right-hand side, so it'd be this side for you guys. This is my right-hand side. It feels like it's cut off a little bit. It doesn't go out as far. And then also the black outline, that is a little bit different if you're just looking at both versions of this thing. So there is a little bit of a difference with the shoulder patch from this Mitchell and Ness one to the original, but honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, yeah, it's not the same, but I don't think the Mitchell and Ness one looks bad, and I don't think it's, you know, crazy enough to be like angry about it. It's just like, it's different, but it's fine. The thing that I will get angry about, not actually, is the customization. Now, the style and the font of the customization is pretty good. Like, this is comparing it to a gamer. Now, obviously, the gamer is a little bit folded up just with the way it's hanging, so you can't see the full spread of the customization, but it still looks pretty close to this Power Play jersey, and with this actual style of customization kit, like the font, It's not an easy font to get right, so I'm going to give it to them. I think it's close enough, and with it being a replica as well, yeah, like this is going to be as close as you're really going to get for the most part. I'll give the style of it to Mitchell and Ness here. I think they did a fairly good job. The problem that I have with it is maybe something that I shouldn't have expected anyways, because it wasn't on the RoboPen jersey that they had released earlier. There's no Glacier Twill on this thing, and it's really, really unfortunate. Now, I do kind of want to correct something that I said in my previous video talking about these power play jerseys, so the one that I made a year ago. In that, I did say that the original factory for Glacier Twill did shut down, and I wasn't sure how easy it was to get Glacier Twill. So I believe that is still correct, or at least the original source of the Glacier Twill is no longer making it. And I've heard just recently, like really recently, that I guess the original process of making that Glacier Twill was cancerous, and that's why they stopped making it. So that's probably a good reason why you should stop making that. But that doesn't mean that Glacier Twill is completely gone. There are alternative ways to, get something that is similar to Glacier Twill. It's not 100% the exact same way that it was done back in the day, but it looks fairly close. It looks fairly accurate. So yeah, apparently there are, still ways to get Glacier Twill, which I did know because obviously I've seen people get Glacier Twill kits recently. But yeah, for some reason that skipped my mind when I was making the original video. The thing that I'm not too sure about though is that if it's able to be mass produced like it used to be back in the day. Like I don't know if Mitchell and Ness could have had a bunch of kits with Glacier Twill made, or if it's more of just like a kind of case by case basis. I don't know, so either Mitchell and Ness just wasn't able to get Glacier Twill for these jerseys and some of the other jerseys that should have Glacier Twill, or they just didn't try. Not quite too sure what is their actual reason, but either way, it is unfortunate that Glacier Twill is not on these jerseys, because that is a huge reason why I like the customization kit so much on the original Wild Wing jerseys. So is this jersey worth the $225? Well, to be honest, if you're trying to find a Wild Wing jersey, the original one, it's going to be difficult to find it for under $225 American with it being customized. Like this one right here, I had been searching for this thing for, I'm not joking, like 8 years, and I found it for $200 Canadian, and I thought that was a good price. Now, it's not customized, so I have no customization on this thing. I need to get it customized, I definitely do. But yeah, getting a Wild Wing jersey for $225 American customized, like you probably could find one, but it's going to be difficult. So like in terms of the price, actually the price is not that bad for this jersey right here because it is so rare. That being said, the colors are still off and the customization isn't quite right. So to me, it just doesn't quite feel worth it for that $225. It is an option, which is nice. I guess that is one thing that I do have to give them a little bit of props for, is that this is an option for people who really want a Wild Wing jersey. But yeah, it's just so unfortunate that they can't get the colors right. Even if there wasn't Glacier Twill on this jersey, but the colors were correct, I would probably say that it is worth $225 American. But with the colors being off, it's just like, why can't you get that right? Why is that so difficult? I really don't know why, and it's so unfortunate. The next one that I want to talk about is the Burger King. So once again, it's awesome that they are bringing this jersey back because it is so rare. It is so expensive. It's awesome that there is an option to get this jersey now. And it's not like this is the first time that Mitchell and Ness has actually done a throwback to the Burger King jersey. They did it, I don't know the exact years, but it was before they were owned by Fanatics. So this is basically just another version of it that they are doing. So yeah, very, very happy that they decided to do this one again. That being said, though, the immediate thing that I saw with this picture right here is the captain's patch. That placement is not correct. It's not very good. They did release another photo of an actual person wearing the jersey, and that seems to be a little bit more accurate. Now, I don't think it's 100%, but it's close enough. It's actually in the sash, so it definitely does look better. The problem that I have is if someone actually buys this jersey, what version are they going to get? Are they going to get the one with the captain's patch inside of the sash, or are they going to get it where it's kind of leaking out a little bit? Especially because they actually have two pictures of the captain's patch kind of bleeding out into the white. So I'm leaning more towards on the side of that's how it's going to be if you actually buy this jersey. I tried looking it up. I actually tried finding someone who has already purchased this jersey, and I didn't find anything. When I did look it up, it was mostly filled with just the old Burger King version that Mitchell and Ness did, so I couldn't find any of the power play versions, unfortunately. But yeah, that's definitely the thing that I'm most nervous about with this jersey right here. If I were to buy it, would be, where is that captain's patch going to be? Is it going to be in a decent placement, or is it going to be completely off? I really don't know. With the colors on this thing, it feels like it should be kind of difficult to screw up the colors considering there is so little color on this thing. It's basically just a black to gray gradient, but there does seem to be, like, I don't want to be nitpicky here, but it does seem to be like a little bit of a hint of blue in that gradient when it wasn't like that on the original. So even the gradient there seems to be a little off. And like I said, I don't want to be nitpicky, but it's weird. It's weird, right? And the purple as well does seem to be a little bit lighter. I don't really think that one bothers me as much, though. I don't think the purple being off is that terrible. I actually think it looks okay. As for the customization on this thing, it does seem to be a little bit higher than it should be, but personally, I don't think it's that huge of a deal on this one. I don't think it's like that much of a difference that I really want to complain too much about it. As for the Burger King himself, you can see there is some differences there. Not massive differences, but it is enough where he does look a little bit cheaper. And then a closer look at the numbers, we can see that the gold on the Mitchell & Ness one, that is embroidered, where with mine, which is the original, that is just a gold twill. So even though I do think that the gold actually does pop a little bit better, at least in this specific picture, I still like the gold twill a little bit more than the embroidered version. Those were the two main ones that I wanted to talk about. I do still have some more to say about other jerseys in a second, but I want to just kind of quickly recap here, because these two are almost what I want Mitchell & Ness to do, but also are kind of the main issues that I have with Mitchell & Ness, where I love that they did bring back these old school jerseys that are hard to find. It's so cool. It's so awesome. And I don't have an issue with them changing, small things like the way that the logo is made on the Burger King jersey, or the way that the shoulder patch is made on the Wild Wing jersey. That doesn't bother me too much. I can look away from that and be like, that's fine. That's not a big deal. It's the colors. That is the main thing that I have an issue with, because I feel like that shouldn't be hard. I feel like that should be the easiest part about these jerseys. I really don't like, I don't make jerseys, obviously, so I don't know the difficulty of going through and finding the fabrics and, getting the dyes and all of that. I don't know how difficult that really is, and color matching, I have no idea. But I feel like it shouldn't be that difficult for at least this big of a company. Like, it is owned by Fanatics, so that's maybe why it does suck so much. It's because it's owned by Fanatics. It feels like it's not even like a laziness thing. It's like they don't care, I guess. I really don't know. And it's just so frustrating, because it's like, I want to be able to recommend these jerseys. I really, really do. Because, yeah, the fact that you can get a Burger King jersey that's customized and a Wild Wing jersey that's customized for $225 American, that feels like it should be not a crazy deal, but a decent deal. And it's a good option. But they're kind of not. So unfortunately for me, like, the way that I do think about, how I recommend buying these power play jerseys is I first like to say to people, okay, well, first compare it to the original jersey that you're wanting to buy. If the original jersey is available to buy and it's cheaper, just buy the original jersey straight up. Now, if you can't find the original jersey, or if it's more expensive, then you take a look at like the colors and the number placement and all of that, and then you can kind of decide from there. And in my opinion, if the colors are off, it's just not really worth it, to be honest. And, some of these power play jerseys, the colors aren't off and the colors are fine. But yeah, these two here, the colors are off, and it's just like, yeah, I can't recommend it. Like, if they go on sale for like 100 American, then yeah, I guess I would say so. Like, if you really, really want one of these things. But even then, like, I don't know. I feel like you're still just better off saving until you can actually find the real thing. That's kind of how I feel about it, at least. Anyways, though, let's talk about some of the other jerseys that Mitchell & Ness released. So this one right here is actually one that I feel pretty positive about, and that is the Detroit Red Wings 2016 Stadium Series jersey. So this one they actually released like last week, or, not very long ago. And honestly, like, this is one of the ones where I go, actually, this might be not a bad option. At least to me, that red looks fine, at least similar enough to the original that it's not a huge deal. If I'm trying to be nitpicky about it, it does kind of look like the white on the sleeves goes a little higher than it should, but I honestly think it's just the cut of the jersey. I've talked about how I don't really like the cut on these Mitchell & Ness jerseys, because it doesn't even feel like an old boxy jersey. It feels like a rectangular jersey. Like, it, to me, they look different than the old jerseys. And yeah, I've never really liked the look of the cut with these things, especially in this picture right here, like this format that they use for all of these Mitchell & Ness jerseys. I don't know why they lay them out like this, because at least to me, it makes them look terrible. But I don't really have a ton to complain about with this jersey here. So it seems close enough to the original where, it has the same series patch, which looks good. Yeah, the striping, like I said, maybe the ones on the sleeves is a little bit higher than it should be, but Scott Larkin on the back, it doesn't have the name bar, which is good. It has the arch lettering, so for $225, like, this is a rare jersey. It's very, very difficult to find. It doesn't pop up often, and when it does, it's usually fairly expensive. So this is one that I'm actually interested in getting, which is not usual for me. I don't really think that there's been a power play jersey that I've really actually wanted or thought about getting, and this is one of them. Now, I'm not going to pay full price for it. I'm going to wait to see if it goes on sale, and then I'll kind of decide then. But this is one that I'm actually going to keep my eye on. So very surprising, because I didn't think that was going to happen, honestly. This far into the power play series, I was kind of like, I guess I don't want any of them. But maybe this one. We'll see. The next one that I want to talk about, I'm just going to go real quick here because I don't really care too much about the jersey. It's an old Jets jersey. That is kind of cool. But it's the patch that I really want to focus in on, because this patch right here is celebrating 10 seasons for the Jets. That includes their WHA years as well. But I've never seen this patch before. So this is another kind of avenue that I was really excited about with these power play jerseys, is that maybe they can bring back some really old patches. This being one of them. Is it entirely accurate to it being on the original jerseys? Probably not, but it's still cool to bring back an old patch like this. There's another one that I saw on a Buffalo Sabres jersey. It was just a number 1 patch, which is supposed to honor the goalie Roger Koizer. I might not be pronouncing that correctly, but he was a goaltender in the 60s and 70s for the Red Wings and the Sabres. So that number 1 patch, I've never seen that before either. Cool that they're on these jerseys here. That is really, really neat. And then the last jersey that I want to talk about here is the LA Kings Stadium Series jersey. When I saw that Mitchell and Ness did a throwback to this one, I was like, really? The Stadium Series jersey for the Kings? Really? Like that's the one you chose? I was super surprised. I'm going to be honest with you. Once again, it does have its issues. The gray on this jersey is a much lighter gray than it should be. But looking at that logo, first of all, that logo is massive. It's really big on this jersey. It looks huge on this thing. But if we take a closer look at the logo here, you can see, this is how it's done. And if you're looking at it and going like, okay, well, that doesn't look too bad. Like that looks like how you would usually make a logo. I would agree with you. However, that is not how the logos were made on the original 2015 Stadium Series jersey. This is what they look like on the original 2015 Stadium Series jerseys. They are a weird type of logo. It's shiny. It has like little designs in it with like circles and then some like lines in the black part. And I also know that it's really difficult to keep these jerseys in good condition, or at least to keep the logos in good condition. They fold really easy. They crease super easy. I don't have one, but at least, from looking at pictures online, these logos are almost never in good condition. It's really difficult to find one that has a clean looking logo. So it is funny that they didn't even attempt to replicate that on the power play jersey. Like, realistically, it's maybe the better idea, since those old logos were so hard to keep in good condition. So you probably would have got blamed for, just having a poor quality logo when it's just what you're trying to replicate. That's how it was on the original thing. So yeah, maybe honestly it's even easier just to go with this type of logo too. It's very possible. But yeah, like this is supposed to be the 2015 Stadium Series jersey, because if we look, there is the Stadium Series patch. But yeah, it is just kind of funny that they are even trying to do a throwback to the 2015 Stadium Series jersey without trying to replicate the logo. Like at that point, it kind of begs the question, okay, why are you even making this jersey then? Just make another one, a completely different one. Because even though that logo, I would probably say, and I think most people would say, is a negative part about that jersey, it still is a huge aspect about it. So yeah, it's interesting for sure. Although I should give them some props with this jersey. That is the numbers. They are outlined in silver, and it does actually have that sparkly silver. So that is quite nice. It isn't just embroidered silver. It does seem to be 12. So that is a positive. Although when we take a full look at the back of the jersey, like this picture right here is not good. Like this is a bad looking photo. This, once again, I don't know if it's just the way that they take these pictures, but I feel like these pictures never do the jersey justice. It always makes the jersey look terrible. That being said, the numbers are way too high in this thing, and so is the name. I think the biggest reason why is because, with the old jersey, it has that Reebok tag right underneath the collar, like the black part of the collar. So since this jersey doesn't have that, it's almost like they forgot to give it that amount of room. So yeah, that name is just way too close to the collar here. The gray needs to come down a little bit, and then the name needs to move down with it, and then obviously the numbers as well. Yeah, it's just moved up a little bit too much, and it looks really bad on this one. I'm gonna be honest, it looks really bad. But hey, at least they got the silver. That's good. They got the silver that kind of sparkles, so that's cool, I guess. Yeah, another one where I just go, yeah, no, this one is I think maybe one of like the really bad ones that they have with this power play line. Yeah, this one, nothing is really right about it. Like nothing is right at all. So This one was a tough one. This is a tough one. Anyways, though, that is going to be it for me. It's probably going to be a longer video than I really wanted it to be, but yeah, with these power play jerseys, I'm still like, they're right on the edge for me where I really do want to recommend them, but it's just the colors. That's the only thing that I can't get over is the colors. Everything else, you know, I could deal with. I don't think it's that big of a problem. I don't think it's that big of an issue. But the colors, man, I feel like it's just such an easy thing to get right, such a slam dunk, and something that really makes or breaks a jersey, and they just don't get it right a lot of the time. Some of the time they do, and on the jerseys that they do get right, I think those ones are perfectly fine. So yeah, it's definitely something that I think you kind of have to do a little bit of research with when buying these jerseys, is you have to compare it to the original. If the colors are the same, then I honestly think, from at least what I've seen, that they're a decent product. It's not amazing. It might not be worth the $225 depending on the jersey that you're looking at. One of the jerseys that I didn't talk about was the Islanders black alternate jersey, the Brooklyn alt jersey. They did a version of that one just recently, and I don't know why they're doing that one, because that one, I don't think a lot of Islanders fans even really like it a whole lot. That one's not worth $225. Absolutely not. But other ones, like I said, are. So it feels like, yeah, just with the power play line here, it's one that you really kind of have to do your research on before actually buying one of these jerseys, at least in my opinion. You know, you guys might feel differently, but in my opinion, it's one where you have to see if the price is right, see if the colors are right, and if they are, yeah, then you can go with it. But honestly, I still would just prefer the original. That's at least in my opinion. But anyways, I'm ranting again. I feel like I do this a lot recently. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on all my social medias, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.